It's been a long wait, well over 3 years. I'm not going to waste your time or mine. Hello and welcome to HT Auto. My name is Samir Contractor and let's ride the Ultraviolette F77 performance electric motorcycle. Ultraviolette Automotive took its sweet time building the F77. What we have is the second generation of the model, with the company using the pandemic downtime to further refine its product. This is a vastly different offering than first showcased. The frame and swing arm have been redesigned to make the model lighter and more agile, while the detachable battery pack has been swapped for a fixed unit. It now gets the biggest battery on any two-wheeler in India. The end result is improvements in power, performance and range, but also a higher curb weight. Visually, not a lot has changed. The jet fighter inspired styling is largely the same, but the fairing is now a closed unit. Ultraviolette has integrated winglets into the fairing that channel air towards the battery and motor for better cooling. The winglets also double up as engine guards, and it is a clever integration indeed. There's more room to move around the F77 as far as the ergonomics are concerned. The clip-on handlebars are wider, and the rear set foot pegs are accommodating even for larger riders. The seat is fairly high at 800mm with room to slide front and back. It is decently cushioned as well to keep you comfy on long rides. The overall build quality is impressive and there's little to complain about. But we did find some panel gaps that felt out of place, while the charging cover felt a bit flimsy. Now we've had two riding experiences with the F77. The first one was out to a mountain top, giving us a real world sense of what the motorcycle can do. And the next one is of course on a racetrack to give us a sense of what the handling and power and performance of the motorcycle is like. Now the first impressions is that this is a very capable motorcycle. A lot has been spoken over the last 4 years and well, let's just say that the company stands vindicated. It is indeed a very good motorcycle. It does not feel like it's something made by a first-time player. A lot of attention to detail has gone in, right from the throttle calibration to the power output, performance, everything feels on power. Now there are three riding modes. There's the glide mode, which is of course economical and intended to maximize range. There's the combat mode, which is a good mix between performance and economy. And the third one is ballistic. Now this mode, well, I have two thoughts about it and I have to share it with you. Well, the first one is of course that this is a great mode. It gives you access to all that power and torque figures, and it really does give you a nice kick when you punch the acceleration. Twist the throttle and it'll go very well. You have a nice whine from the electric motor and it feels great. That ballistic mode feels fantastic and it does exactly what the company says it would do. Having said that, and this is the big one, it does not blow me away, and that is my biggest problem with it. Let's take the KTM 390 Duke for example. Now, when that motorcycle came out nearly a decade ago, it just blew us away with kind of performance and acceleration it provided. I was kind of hoping something similar with the F77. It was supposed to blow me away in terms of performance and acceleration. I feel it's more tameable in the ballistic mode as well, and that shouldn't be the case. As riders who would be adopting something like this, they would have ridden other motorcycles as well and have some experience handling power. And I think they would want more novelty and more sense of euphoria from what the acceleration feels like. I think a lot more initial acceleration, a lot more torque at the lower levels would make that deal. And yes, I do feel that this motorcycle is capable of doing that. The Ultraviolette is reserving it to make it more palatable to everybody, but I do feel that everybody who wants to come and ride an performance electric motorcycle wants to be blown away, including me. And that's one big change that I would like Ultraviolette to do on the F77. The 207kg curb weight of the Recon variant is one of the reasons why the performance feels a tad bit underwhelming. It's a whole 55 kilograms heavier than the 390 Duke, and that's the trade-off you have to make for the bigger battery. Now, this is not to say that the F77 isn't an entertaining bike to ride. 0 to 40 km per hour comes up in 3.1 seconds, while the 100 km per hour mark is achievable in just 8 seconds flat. The F77 feels quick and will stay at higher speeds easily for extended periods with a stronger whine from the motor to keep you company. Ultraviolette has also updated the software, which now allows you to use the ballistic mode with 70% state of charge, which was earlier just at 30% state of charge.
So let's talk about handling. Now the first thing that comes to mind is just how capable it is out on the racetrack, and it is a motorcycle that has been developed out on the racetrack. And it feels very seamless. We've been doing some laps and we just figured just how seamless it feels when you're pushing it into a corner. In fact, it does a lot of the work for you. The weight distribution is fantastic, and thanks to a lower center of gravity, you do feel very connected to the motorcycle. At the same time, the riding posture is very aggressive, but not too aggressive, not like a super sport, but you sit very aggressively. You have rear set foot pegs, you have a wide handlebar. All of it makes it nice and connected to the motorcycle, but I do see touring capability as well on the F77.
The 160mm ground clearance is high enough, but the cornering clearance could have been tad better. You end up scraping the foot pegs to an extent, but there's little to complain about. Braking performance also stands well, with the dual disc brake setup doing a fine job. The F77 is also the first electric motorcycle in India to get dual channel ABS. The MRF tires suit the motorcycle's character well, but they are a downgrade from the Menzilla tires shown on the prototype years ago. The F77 also strikes a good balance between handling and ride quality. The 41mm USD front forks and a monoshock at the rear get preload adjustability. Despite the sporty positioning, the motorcycle offers a well-balanced setup that handles bad patches with ease. High-speed stability is great, and the motorcycle feels fairly comfortable handling road undulations as much as the smooth tarmac. It's not plush by any standard, but far better than what we are used to on KTM machines. When it comes to features, Ultraviolette has opted for an LCD digital display with a Linux-based user interface. There's navigation, a digi-locker, smartphone connectivity via Bluetooth, and more. An eSIM is embedded into the system and is a part of the purchase. It's easy to navigate using the switchgear, which also allows you to turn off dual channel ABS or adjust degenerative braking with 3 modes on offer.
There's plenty more to talk about the F77, and let's start with range. 307 kilometers on a single charge, that's what Ultraviolette claims. IDC figures, of course, but we'll have to test it out in the real world to see what it's really capable of when it comes to living with the F77.
The F77 comes with a 3.3 kilowatt charger as standard that can provide about 35 kilometers of range in an hour, while a full charge will take about 5 hours. There's an optional fast charger as well that can fully charge the bike in about 1.5 hours. Prices for the Ultraviolette F77 original start at 3,80,000 rupees, while the F77 Recon that we've been riding today is priced at 4,55,000 rupees. All prices are ex-showroom. So yes, this is a very expensive proposition, substantially more than comparable 400cc motorcycles.
The baseline that we were looking for as a product, Ultraviolette meets nearly 90% of it. There can be improvements, and there are lots and lots of updates coming in. Ultraviolette has promised us that. So it definitely makes for one capable product to look out for. And this, to tell you, is just the start. I cannot wait to see what the company has in store in the future.
Deliveries for the F77 begin in February this year, and Bengaluru will be the first city to get a dealership. The company plans to expand to other cities later in the year, while exports are also on the cards to markets including Europe, the US, Japan and Southeast Asia.
Do tell us what you think about the new Ultraviolette F77. Is this the kind of motorcycle that you would like to buy? Drop in your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button. And as we always say, please wear a helmet on a two-wheeler, seatbelt in a car. My name is Samir Contractor. This is HT Auto. Thank you for watching.